Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. And welcome back to another, video game review. As you guys might remember, last week I decided to test out the waters of AI dungeon mastering to see what I'm going to be replaced with. And apparently, it's not as cheery as I was hoping. I'm not going to lie. I had some fun. I played EVERWEAVE for like 2 hours, an hour here, an hour there, and then the 60 free messages that I was given when I downloaded the game were gone, and I'm like, okay, I'll just wait till tomorrow. I'll play again, not a problem. But no, that's actually not the case. It's 60 messages a month. Does that sound like harsh to you? I mean, any other video game out there that I download from the Play Store, for the most part, I can play as much as I want, whenever I want, blah, blah, blah. Not going to cost me a dime. I'm sure there's going to probably be some data collection, and they're going to try and, sell me stuff, commercials, and, microtransactions and all that. There are plenty of games out there that don't do any of that, and I've played many of them. So I went and looked around and went to the subscription or messages that you can purchase to see just what kind of, I'm going to say what kind of scam they're pulling here. And I was quite surprised when I did the math and did the numbers. I'll give you the breakdown. Mind you, the game was fun enough to where I was going to, or I should say, I was looking forward to seeing what was going to happen next, because I got myself into a cliffhanger situation, and it was relatively a fun experience compared to a lot of the other video games I've played lately. A bunch of them that I have and own that I can pop in right now are better, but it was tailored and it was listening to what I was saying and allowing me to manipulate situations as if I was playing one-to-one with a real person. I know that a real DM would be like, yeah, no, you ain't getting away with that. We'll get back to that later, because that's where it really gets scary. So for 100 messages, just one-time fee, it's $2.99. 300 messages, $7.99. 900 messages is $19.99. Mind you, I burned through 60 in about 2 hours, and because that includes like all your little things in combat, roll to hit. That sucked up a bunch real quick. I was in 2 combats with 2 orcs and 2 goblins, and that probably had to be 20 plus messages right there. Mind you, I did go up a level, which was kind of surprising, considering, but I had made it to some sort of milestone, so I'm like, okay, cool, kind of cool character, I'm digging it. And I'm like, okay, so 900 messages at $19.99. That's pretty expensive. That's what a little over 15 hours maybe for $20. Now all these prices I'm kind of comparing to things like Netflix or any other streaming services, which I'll show you in a minute. On the subscription plans they have, which start out at 300 messages a month, which is only 5 times what I played. So 10 hours for $6 a month. I know anybody who's got any sort of streaming service, the lowest tier, probably pays a little bit more, but again has kind of unlimited access. Same with any other game that you would buy or purchase, especially if you were like just saving up for like a real disc, or a real game in a physical copy. Yeah, it's definitely. So then the 300 messages a month at $5.99, or 6 months for $30.99. Kind of steep. Then the highest tier is 1,000 messages for $17.99 a month, or 6 months for $89.99. That's like $100. So you could easily be dropping $200 a year to play a game. I know there's some MMOs that would probably suck a lot more out of you, but most of those you actually have interaction with real people and other things like that. So even at the highest tier, playing, 30 messages an hour, let's say, you're looking at 33 hours for, just under $20. That's does that seem right to you guys? I know I'm a cheap bastard, and uh, there's probably things you can pay that are a lot more expensive. But when it comes to something that should be a free phone slash tablet kind of game, that seems a little exorbitant. Then, while I was looking around, seeing, because they offer, they say there's free codes here and there that you can get some bonus messages, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, well, let's go check out their Discord. And immediately I was drawn to a little section. I forget what it was called, tips and tricks maybe. How before you even start the game, when you're describing your character, how you could literally game the AI into pretty much like giving you whatever you want at the start by clever wording and typing. That really kind of bummed me out, because I know that lots of people are going to do that. Not like you're playing against anybody but yourself and the AI, but knowing that how easy that it is to do things like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I think it's going to be a long time before this sort of thing is actually a viable replacement for a human, when you could just, I mean, it kind of reminds me of the situations where the guy's a DM and he's got a girlfriend who wants to play, to be one of the boys, and then, or maybe just someone joins the game and someone's got a crush on someone, and suddenly they're just being shoved, here, have all this free cool stuff because you're playing, and your friends are looking at you like, what the hell, dude? Come on. That ain't fair. We worked hard for less than that, and you're just handing this stuff over, blah, 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 that kind of thing. It just really, really bummed me out thinking about just how expensive something like this is, considering it could be, if you played, fairly, let's say, without cheating, how good it could be as a tool to test things out and things like that. Especially since I believe it's a 5e engine that they're using for the rules, and I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad. It was a little easier. My warlock started out with like 12 hit points or some junk like that, and I'm like, that's like playing a third level magic user. Plus, I can just cast spells all, not as often as I want, but the cantrips, which does a D10 freaking damage for the Eldritch Blast. I'm like, yeah, that's a whole different game compared to what I was used to. But I gave it a try, gave it the old college try, so to speak. I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. If you're going to give it a try, if you're going to wait for it to be cheaper, if you're going to wait for it to be smarter, or if you're interested at all, or if you think this is just an absolute waste of time. Many other better video games out there, or better things to do with your money. But I was thinking, for the times that I do want to just chill out and, maybe play a video game or do something like that, I'd give it a try. Not gonna lie, if it was like 60 messages a day, I'd be playing right now, for free. I mean, that's, do they want you playing or not? Or do they want your money more than they want you to play? I know how the whole system is set up. The more time you're in front of the screen, the better. The powers that be like it. So maybe live and learn, and go read a book. That's what I'm going to do. I got a stack of books I need to get into, and it's still kind of early. So continue the conversation down in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. I think that I will be uninstalling the game when I get downstairs, because it's really kind of pointless to continue on at that rate, waiting until the end of the month to play for 2 hours, for free. Yeah, I know it's in development, but it's just... Anyways, that's what I got for you this morning. I will see you guys in about 45 minutes. for the second breakfast show. I hope to see you guys all pile in there and tell me all about your weekend, because apparently it was a really busy weekend for some online games for a bunch of my friends, and I can't wait to hear about them and how everybody's weekend was. Hope yours was great. I'll see you guys real soon, and until then, happy trails.